You're driving home from work. You see the red and blue lights start flashing behind you. It's not fun, but you aren't too worried. You know you haven't done anything wrong. You pull over, lights are flashing, heart's beating a little bit fast. Before you can say a word, the officer asks you, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" That's not small talk. That is a trap. The police have tricks to make you give up your rights. In the next few minutes, I'm going to go over 7 of these tricks so that you can protect yourself. Knowing these tricks can be the difference between going home and going to jail. We're going to cover everything from traffic stops to knocks on your door. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to say and what not to say. Let's jump right in. Trick number 1, the leading question. You get pulled over and the first thing the officer says, "Do you know why I stopped you?" This is a test. They want you to admit to things so that if you did extra stuff they didn't see, well, guess what? They can throw it in there too. Just in case something doesn't stick, they got you on 2 or 3 other things that you admitted to. When you're faced with this question, your answer should always be a calm and polite, "No, officer." Don't guess. Do not admit to anything. Make the police do their job. Don't do it for them. That's what they get paid. You don't get paid to do the police's job, so don't do their job for them. You don't got to be a jerk about it. You can be polite. And it's never impolite to assert your rights, but do it in a nice way. Trick number 2, the friendly request. At the side of the road, the officer might say something like, "Nothing illegal in the car, right?" And then you say no. Then they say, "Then you wouldn't mind if I took a look?" Now, this is a loaded question. And it may sound like casual conversation, but it's not. If you answer yes, he's going to say you gave him permission to search the vehicle. If you answer no, he's going to say, well, he didn't mind if I took a look. It's a trick question. They're trying to play mind games with you. They just don't. And no matter what you say, they can argue that you gave them permission. So the best thing to say is, "Officer, I do not consent to any searches." That's it. And you can do it politely. You don't got to be a jerk about it, but don't play their mind games. "Officer, I do not consent to any searches." Problem solved. No ambiguity about that. No questionable responses. He's going to look a little bit silly on the body cam saying, "No, he gave me permission to search." When you're saying, "No, I do not consent to any searches." Trick number 3, the warrant bluff. An officer might say, "Pop the trunk or I'll just go get a warrant." They're betting that you don't know the difference between a threat and a request. Now, getting a warrant takes time and evidence. You don't just magically say, "I'm getting a warrant." In Indianapolis, they can actually do email warrants, so it does happen quicker than it did even 5-10 years ago. But they have to have probable cause to get that warrant, and a judge has to sign off on that. And while I think that judges sometimes give warrants a little too quickly, I have seen judges reject warrants. And the reality is, if an officer is telling you he's going to get a warrant, well, let him. Let them. But it's not going to be easier for you. It's not going to be better. Ask them, "Okay, fine, get a warrant." If they're going to search that car with or without a warrant, well, make them get a warrant so you give me, other attorneys, more grounds to fight that search. And you might be thinking to yourself, "Well, I got nothing to hide. I'm just going to agree to the search." Why? You're going to waste your time, waste the officer's time. They're going to tear your car up, empty everything out, try to tap on doors to pull things out. I thought it was a hidden compartment. And then you think they're going to fix things on the side of the road? You think they're going to put things back into your car? Maybe. They don't have to. You agreed to let them search. Don't do that to yourself. Make them do their job. Don't do their job for them. Again, you don't get paid to be a police. You don't. So don't do their job for them. Again, I do not consent to a search. Trick number 4, the detention gray area. If you're just walking down the street and an officer starts talking to you, they don't have to tell you that you're free to leave. So it's kind of this weird situation. Officer's talking to you. You don't want to be rude, but you don't know what's going on. And some people say, "Well, Mark, just walk away." Don't do that, because an officer might say he was under arrest, or at least I had reasonable suspicion to stop him. Now he's fleeing. Don't do that. Don't just walk away from the police. That can be problematic. Here's what you do if an officer is talking to you on the street, whether it being in a friendly tone or asking you questions. Look the officer in the eye and ask him, "Am I free to leave?" And if he says yes, leave. Don't engage in any more conversation. Don't be just chatting with him. "Oh, just checking, officer. No, you're just trying to do your job." No, leave. If he says, "No, you're not free to leave," well, you now know you're either in some sort of detention, whether it's a Terry stop or an outright arrest. "Well, he didn't have handcuffs on me." Well, guess what? You don't need handcuffs to be under arrest. But basically, if you're not free to leave, you're being investigated, or he wants to talk to you about some crime he thinks you may know or be implicated in. It is not to your benefit to just talk to police. If you really want to talk with police, go get an attorney. The attorney can call them and try to figure out the scope and the nature of the investigation. And then once you know that, we can try to get some sort of immunity so you don't end up getting charged or something you had no part in, but maybe circumstances look bad. Trick number 5, the knock and talk. You're home and you hear a knock on the door. It's the police. They don't have a warrant, but they just want to talk. Here's the bottom line with this one. You are not required to open your door for anyone. Girl Scouts, door-to-door salesmen, even the police who are knocking on your door. If you truly do want to talk to them, you can talk to them through a closed door. You can talk to them on your phone through the Ring camera app or whatever else you have. I would advise never to open your door to the police because you have no idea. Once you open that door, they could say they saw things, they could say they heard things, they can say they smelled things that gave them permission to come inside. Don't invite that chaos into your life. You can be respectful, but do not open that door. If they have a warrant, well, if they're willing to show it to you, then perhaps open the door. But quite honestly, I still wouldn't open the door. I'd let them kick it down before I'd open the door to police. That's just me. That's just me. I've seen a lot of things in this career of mine, but you do not have any obligation to open the door for police. Police do come inside. I'd put my hands up in the air and say, hey, I do not consent to you being here. I do not consent to you exceeding the scope of any warrant you have. But I would be polite and keep my hands raised so that they don't think that you're up to anything. Please be very careful in situations like that. Trick number 6, it's legal for the police to lie to you. This is a big one, and so many people just can't believe it. What do you mean they can lie to me? They can lie to you. If they're talking to you, they can say, hey, listen, we got an eyewitness that saw you leaving the crime scene. Hey, we found your prints at the scene of the crime. Hey, we have a video of you at the scene of the crime. Hey, your best friend, so-and-so, he told us you're involved. All of those are lies the courts allow. Basically, the only time it goes too far with the lie is that they create a fake document that says, hey, DNA confirmed X, Y, and Z. Creating a fake document sometimes is a bit too far, but almost anything else is game. You have no idea if the police are lying to you or being truthful to you. So the only solution to that is to get an attorney and do not talk to the police by yourself. In situations where police are asking you questions or telling you things you know are not true, again, I plead the 5th. I want an attorney. I do not consent to any searches. That's it. Don't be in a situation where the police are asking you questions, telling you things that are not true. Police officers talking to you, am I free to leave? Leave. Or they say you're not free to leave. I plead the 5th. And then be quiet. Trick number 7, the phantom smell. An officer pulls you over and says, I smell marijuana in this car. In many states, the claim of the smell of marijuana alone gives police probable cause to search your entire vehicle. Problem is, you can't prove they don't smell it. It's their word against yours. And at the side of the road, well, the word of the police is going to go a lot farther than your word. But that's why it's even more important than ever, especially the side of the road, to not give police consent to search the vehicle. You want to give your attorney as much ammunition as possible to fight any type of claim by the police. And if the police start saying, I smell marijuana, I better have a look. Is that okay? I do not consent to any searches. Well, we're going to search it anyway. I can smell it. Okay. Do what you got to do, officer. I don't consent to this. You have to stand firm to these type allegations. And what you're really trying to do is trying to call the officer's bluff. That's what we're trying to do. If you know there's no marijuana in that vehicle, it doesn't smell like marijuana, then you know the officer's bluffing and trying to put pressure on you to give consent to search. Don't do it. So there you have it. 7 tricks police use to get you to give up your rights. Knowing these phrases and your rights is your best defense. Stay calm, be polite, and remember, you have the right to remain silent. If you've watched this far, you must like me at least a little bit, maybe not like in love with me or anything, but hey, maybe you like me or like the content. Subscribe and leave me a comment. Right on there, hey Mark, this video's trash, or hey Mark, this video's great. I don't care. Leave me a comment. I will do my absolute best to respond to all comments. Again, can't promise that. Got things going on. If you're facing charges in the great state of Indiana, give me a call, 317-632-3642. I would love to talk about your options. But most importantly, I want you to always plead the 5th.